Fantasy baseball is a game that is played by millions of baseball fans across the country. Although the underlying theme of the game, benefiting from real-life baseball players' performance on the field, is the same, every individual league operates under their own set of rules and regulations. One of the more popular formats that fantasy baseball players enjoy is a keeper league. Avid fantasy baseball manager Brian Stevens and his league just changed their league over to a keeper league this year, and I wanted to know just why they all wanted to make that change.
Keeper league is where you get to keep a certain amount of players. In some leagues it's 2, some 4. In our case, it's 6 keepers altogether. And it's much different than any other time we've ever had a season of fantasy baseball because this is the first year of keepers. Depending on where you draft the players, depends on how long you can keep them. Because as we know, the tiers, you keep 2 players from rounds 1 through 5, 2 from 6 through 12, 2 players from 13 on. And each player, depending on where they get drafted, they mature 3 years. So if you draft a player in the 16th round, the next year they're going to be a 13th round keeper.
The league has been playing together for 7 years, but the format has forced even the most seasoned managers to adjust their old strategies.
It alters your draft strategy greatly. Different type of ranking system now, and you got to predict who's going to go where because a lot of the players that you might want have been kept already. So it's a lot more difficult than just a redraft format. So you're putting yourself in a hole, especially at shallow positions. You might want to get a shortstop and second base are typically the shallowest positions of talent, so you might want to get one of those guys earlier.
Having the ability for managers to keep certain players for an extended period of time on their teams means that they have to make tough decisions between drafting a proven veteran player or a young prospect with huge potential.
This is an entirely different draft format. You have to, you get to keep certain players for X amount of years based on where they get drafted. You got to target the youthful stars, the top prospects, because they're going to pay dividends in the end once you have them on your team for maybe 3 or 4 years. So you definitely go after the younger guys as opposed to previous years where you just draft the best player at that time.
Despite being hesitant at first, Stevens feels that switching the league to a keeper league format has enhanced the entire fantasy baseball experience.
Originally, I was strongly against keepers. I didn't want anything to do with keepers. I liked having a new team every year. Players that I'd never had before I would like to have. Just, different feeling for the season. But a lot of people, in the beginning it was split, I'd say. People wanted to do keepers, some people did not. But we all came to the conclusion that, hey, it's different, but it's a greater challenge. I would strongly recommend it to leagues. We've been doing a standard redraft format for about 7 years, 6 or 7 years now, so it's about time for a change. I'm okay with it. It's like you're the owner of an actual baseball team now, so it's great. I like the change.
In the end, fantasy baseball is all about having some fun with your best friends, and shifting over to a keeper league has certainly done that for Stevens.
The tighter you are as friends, the better a fantasy baseball league is going to be, especially when we all live in the same town. There's always something to do. There's always somebody to talk to. Like Patrick and myself live in the same town. We're always in each other's ear about fantasy baseball related stuff, and the closer you are as a group of friends, the better your fantasy baseball league will be, no doubt.